Hey, I'm really convinced that doing these videos help me keep track of the day of the week. um, so I'm a little sunburnt and very tired, but I wanted to make sure I came on here and stay true to, the way things have always been, where I'm sharing a message or a thought, or, the past couple of days have been pretty intensely busy with the new business. And so today was a day that I just went for adventure. And I think, hopefully maybe you saw on the page earlier that a friend and I went parasailing here in Virginia Beach, where we live. And I had a great day. And it was great because it was full of, time with genuine friends. My friend Jennifer was with me, but also my friend DeAndre was with me. And we had quality time. And, it's wonderful to get out there and spend time with people and be your local tourist, like I joke around. But today, just the parasailing, what it did for Jennifer, and what it did for me, and then spending time with DeAndre, all of us going to have lunch at Gringo's, and while you would sit here and think I would be like super pumped and ready to tell you all these stories about flying through the sky, because I sure do love that, a completely different message came to my head at the end of today. And it's definitely not a 5 on it, but I will not talk long, or I'll try. But today was a day that I was definitely seeking thrills and seeking butterflies. And I don't know if you know what butterflies is. A lot of people think you only get that, when you fall in love. But I'm 37 and I get butterflies all the time from excitement, nerves, interactions. And so I enjoy thrill. I enjoy butterflies. And so what I wrote down here is, why do I enjoy thrill? Why did I find happiness today during all the craziness of 2020? And what I said to my friend Jennifer way up top in the sky is, the reason I love the ocean and, doing spontaneous, adventurous things when I can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out there like every other day, bungee jumping. But something especially like the ocean, while we were up at the very, very top of the line, she's been going through hard times. And truth be told, her and I have not talked in nearly a year. We'd been best friends 12 years since our daughters were born. They're 2 weeks apart. And we just went one entire year without talking. Because things get hard. And so when I was up there in the sky with her, after she calmed down and started to enjoy it, and she could see all the stingray schools, I said, the reason I love this is because when you're way, way up here, it reminds you of how big the world is. And that our problems today are so small. They don't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. And I looked down, and unfortunately, she did not like that part when I was like, look down. She's like, no! I said, but, look down and think about what you're going through, what she's personally going through right now. And the ocean is your life, is what I'm saying. And today's problem is just like a drop of water in that huge ocean. Like sometimes I love feeling small. And that might sound crazy coming from someone like myself. But when I am so overwhelmed, or when something hurts emotionally, I like to feel small, because that lets me know in the grand scheme of things in this universe, it's going to pass. That drop of water is not going to be anything devastating to the huge ocean. Let that be your life, the world. But I really love feeling small when I'm super upset, distressed, sad. And I also feel like I find joy easier than some, and I seek thrill more than some. And there's going to be a ton of you out there who are just like me, but my life has not been easy. And it's so important to not play victim, because when you sit and play victim, you're just, what did I write down? You're just being overwhelmed with, you know, what bad has happened to you. Instead of moving forward to make it better, you get really stuck in a moment. But it's when you have grown from it and you're able to look back at it that it helps you see, you know, the smaller things in life. And I also wrote down, you know, my silver linings. It opens up your eyes to silver linings. I am really tired. I think I just started rambling. But anyway, so the other thing that I wrote down was, of course, Jordan's on my mind, always on my mind. Live like Jordan. So I did today. And my friend DeAndre, this evening, after, you know, he spent some time with Jennifer and I at the beach, I told him that I'd gotten a call to go do a notary signing for some real estate documents in Portsmouth at, you know, 6 o'clock in the evening. And guess what? Dee went with me, just to help me feel safe. And the other cool thing was I was so stressed and strapped on time, I thought, that being in the passenger seat was, I was able to like regroup. And then when we had this extra time, DeAndre pulls off and he's like, I'm going to go get Dumars. I'm like, do we have time for Dumars? He's like, we got time. I'd never been to Dumars. Usually I would have been like, I'm freaking out. I can't do this. You're stressing me out. We got to go. I'd rather be early than late. But, you know, he made me slow down and go somewhere new. And I was telling him today that it sounds crazy because he does not really know Jordan or, you know, anything about my friendship with Jordan. But I was telling him how Jordan is, he was always known for bringing people together, whether it be a relationship, a marriage, a friendship, you know, business partners. He always brings people together. And I say it in the present tense because I was explaining to Dee that I appreciated him being around me so much more recently, and I didn't think he had done it on purpose or realized what he was doing. But I'm really convinced that, you know, Jordan has a huge part of this friendship that I have with DeAndre. I mean, we've been friends forever. We visit each other occasionally. He sold me my car. But recently, something in the stars, you know, has given us more time to hang out. And now I have this partner in crime who listens to me, and he's not ever going to be Jordan, but he's like helping fill that wound. You know, he's my sounding board. He'll go do random adventures with me, which if you know Jordan, knew Jordan, it was always time for a random adventure. So I don't know if DeAndre would even be watching this or watch it tomorrow at some point. And he laughed and he was like, I'm filling a Jordan void. No one can fill that void, but I do feel like Jordan has definitely had a part in bringing our friendship together even more, and having you be someone who supports me. Oh, I'm acting like I'm talking to you. Someone who supports me during this new business I'm doing, and someone who's going to ride with me to go do these things. And a shout out to my husband, Larry. The reason Larry's not doing these things is because he's home with Wyatt. And I got the phone call or the email at like 3 to be in Portsmouth at 6. It was just crazy. I was actually on my way home from parasailing, and then suddenly I was getting ready to go to work. But also I got to stay on track. The growing from the struggle, feeling sorry for yourself, jealousy, And I'm going to totally throw you off track, and I'm talking about Wyatt now. We all know that, Wyatt has a speech delay, and for a while, I was very open here about worried about autism and what if, and, even what if still. But I was definitely in a time of being so incredibly anxious about Wyatt. Like, maybe there's something wrong and I don't see it and I don't know it. Or, days where I would say, one day he's just going to look at me and start talking. And then days where I would just sit back and cry because, maybe this is it. And then you always have to remember that someone out there has it worse than you. And someone out there who has it worse than you is still choosing to be happy. And so I opened up my eyes and decided to grow instead of feeling sorry for myself, and take a look around, try things differently, listen to other people. And when I have started doing that more, he has a babysitter named Taylor who comes twice a week to spend time with him so I can work in my bedroom/office. And one day she was like, I heard him say hey. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think he said hey. And then a few minutes later, she's like, I think he just told me to go. I'm like, oh yeah, he used to say go, 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 like when he was, 18 months and then just stopped. She's like, well, it really sounded like he told me to go and then he pushed me. I'm like, and you have to remember where I'm coming from with anxiety and being totally jealous of these other moms who have, their little boys just mama and loving them and kissing them. And, when I decided to stop feeling that way and stop being jealous and kind of let the anxiety go and trust in the Lord, I started seeing, I started hearing Taylor talk to me saying, start to notice these things, Jeannie. And one day DeAndre was here and I went outside and he said Wyatt was sitting there watching his iPad and had his pacifier in his mouth and was just chilling next to DeAndre, and then took it out and went, hey, and put it back in. And I was like, oh, that's probably a coincidence. Not gonna fall for it. I don't want to get my hopes up. So suddenly when I opened my eyes and opened my heart to allowing other people to help me and see things that I don't see, in the past 2 or 3 weeks, Wyatt has started saying mama and meaning it and looking for me or dragging me around. Mama. Larry left the other day and he was like, bye-bye, 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 bye. And he actually didn't stop saying it until Larry left. So that's one of those, I was like, this is a coincidence. And then he shut the door and Wyatt stopped. He's kind of like, hurry up, daddy, leave. I want mommy all to myself. And then yesterday, my friend Kim was here. I think it was yesterday. My friend Kim was here and she was sitting at the dinner table and I was standing in the kitchen, and Wyatt was at the gate at the kitchen, threatening me with my life, shaking the gate, mama, because he wants in the kitchen. And I yelled to Emily in her room, Emily, don't forget to check on the rabbits. And right when I said that, Wyatt left the gate and went to the back door as if he was looking at the rabbits. And Kim's just kind of watching me, and I'm just, anyways, not happening. I said, Emily, I think I can see from here that the rabbits need water. And I look over at Wyatt and he's still looking at the rabbits through the glass door going. And I looked at Kim and I almost started crying. I was like, okay, that's no bullshit. Like, I'm still super guarded, but it's happening. Things are happening. I don't care what it is, but things are happening and they're great and they're amazing with Wyatt. And I truly feel like I see these things with him because at one point I was a victim and feeling sad for myself, and then decided to get up and look for things and be open and keep praying. And suddenly, the more I opened up, the more I saw, the more Taylor, the babysitter, saw, the more my husband saw, the more Emily saw. My son just kissed me on the mouth for the first time 2 weeks ago, you guys, okay? He's 3.5. I just got, as mama, the first kiss on the mouth. Yeah, it's like he doesn't like me, but however, today when I had to go to the bathroom, I had to go to the bathroom with him laying across my lap with one leg up, trying to get all the way in my lap, just so he could watch his little phone while I went to the bathroom. So, God is good. And when you go out and you seek joy, or you seek thrill, or you seek to no longer be a victim, your eyes are going to open. And, God, I probably rambled so long, but, you know, stop being sad about Wyatt. Boom, Wyatt's making huge leaps. You know, my friend having a really hard time in her personal life, getting us up in the air and just looking down and feeling small. And one thing I want to share is, I always tell people, if you put good out in the world, it's going to come back to you one day. And maybe not who you've done good to or for, but it will always come back to you one day, far, far away, but always put good out there. Help people when you can. And so I have a friend named Adam, who's one of the greatest people in all the land. We've been friends since I was a freshman in high school, when he taught me how to drive, and he was just a huge part of my life in high school. He was my best friend. And for many summers, he worked on a parasail boat down in Corolla or in Kitty Hawk or in Duck, you know, different places all the time. And the first summer after I became a single mom, I took a weekend, and my sister Lisa watched Emily, and I went down to see Adam, and I just went to work with him for a weekend. I mean, I didn't get paid or anything, but I got to go sit on a parasail boat. So I definitely, you know, had done it before. So anywho, I reached out to Adam recently, and I'm like, hey, do you still have friends here? I mean, guys, last time he was here working, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Do you still have friends here? And he said, yes. And I said, can you find out how much it would cost to go parasailing? Because I want to take a friend who's never done it before, who needs to seek adventure and thrill. She's going through a hard time. And he's like, yep, still know them. Let me know what date and time you're shooting for, and I'll get back to you. And so I tell him, and he essentially books it eventually. And so when I'm like, okay, well, I want to pay for my friend and stuff, and he's like, it's already paid for. What? And thank you, Adam, who's never on the Facebook. But Adam is the type of friend who's always been there when I needed him. And he's just one of these blessings that comes back into my life, you know, occasionally every few years now. But it just solidifies how much our friendship means. And so, Adam, if you're watching this, thank you. Or if you ever watch this, thank you. There's a huge bug in here. It's going to crash into my head. It's one of those cicada things. Okay. So a shout out to Adam. Thank you for being an amazing friend to me. And I've always got your back again, too. So, you know, open your eyes, maintain your friendships. Some of the greatest friendships in the world are of the opposite sex. Like I said, deep down, it's just companionship we all need. So I love you, Adam, and thank you. And, okay, summing it up. Boop-a-doo. I had a great day, and I found joy because I've grown from pain. And get out there and be adventurous. Go parasailing. It's not scary. It's not all scary. It's quite boring up there at the very top when you have to be very... and you can hear your friend right next to you. You know, there's no noise. There's no super loud wind. If it would get really, really lower and drop me, that would be so much fun. But Jennifer would have peed herself, if not fainted, and been traumatized for life. And so, if you guys go do something adventurous, share it on this page. I love for other people to get on here and share stuff because it takes a village. So let's keep going. I am so tired. But J. Pruitt LLC has been kicking my butt, and I'm kicking its butt back. So pray for the ones you love and pray for the ones who don't love you. And I'm going to go get some sleep here in just a little bit. So good night.